It started at the end, 2 years ago. The end of Earth. BLADE is an acronym. Builders of a legacy after the destruction of Earth. Quite fitting, I think. It's a relatively new organization. Up there in space, we had plenty of provisions, and a crew trained to handle the limited amount of situations we might encounter in our travels. But of course, all that changed after we lost most of our ship and came crashing down here on Mira. We needed food, water, search and rescue teams, surveyors, police. The list goes on and on. It was too much for the provisional government to manage on its own, so BLADE was born. The idea was to have one central organization with different disciplines to fill these various roles. Its core was pulled from the Coalition military, so it's mostly former soldiers. But fighting isn't our most important duty. Right now, we have a single top priority that supersedes all others. The search for and recovery of the Lifehold.
Take a look at this. The White Whale was designed to carry an exceedingly large number of passengers, all of them held in stasis. All housed in a structure called the Lifehold. This is a complete schematic of that facility. Only essential personnel were conscious and active for the journey from Earth. The flight crew, maintenance engineers, and of course, some military so we could defend ourselves if necessary. But the vast majority were in the Lifehold. Are in the Lifehold. With any luck, they're all still there, in stasis, waiting to be rescued. But there's a problem. We now know the Lifehold broke apart along with the rest of the ship when we came down on Mira. What we don't know is exactly where all the pieces landed. Not very comforting, I know. Blade's top priority now is locating the missing units.
Ah, yes. All citizens of NLA are required to register their name, age, and occupation. We also ask you report any personal assets and take a short survey regarding your current state of health. All purely as a precaution. I'm sure you understand. As the caretakers of humanity's survival, we all have certain responsibilities.
And hey, it's not all bad. Registering gets you access to all kinds of public services.
In any case, I'm sure this is all a lot to digest. You'll be wanting some time. Ms. Ku, even I'm tired of hearing myself speak. Why don't you take our guest out for some air? Perhaps a tour of the administrative district.
Yes, sir. Come on, we'll keep this briefing brief.
You know, it's not every day we're authorized to let a civilian tour the administrative district.
Yeah. Nagi must really, really want him to join Blade.
The AD is a bit different from the other districts. It's got everything a Blade would need, all in one place, without any extra fluff.
Get a load of that scale. Even the way that they walk is so cool. Oh yeah, work it, baby. What? You don't remember what a skell is? That gorgeous exoskeleton that just went by? Basically like the most incredible, awesomest super weapons ever? Lasers, force fields, bipedal and vehicular transformations. Sorry, I get so excited whenever I think about it.
Originally, scales were developed as a defensive measure to counter potential alien threats. It wasn't enough to save Earth, though. We were outnumbered and outgunned. Still, just look around you. New LA has gone from basically nothing to this in just 2 short months. We could never have come so far, so fast, without Skell technology. I'd love to get you into one to see for yourself, but it's not that simple.
Well, yeah, duh. For one thing, only Blades are allowed to pilot skells. And even then, you need a license.
These aren't toys we're talking about. They're complex machines with powerful weapons. And they're a precious resource. We only have so many of them to go around. So yes, as you might imagine, the certification process is a fairly rigorous one.
I'm sure you're thinking, where do I sign up for the test? But it's not that simple. They choose you, not the other way around. You can't just walk in the front door and volunteer.
There is some criteria. The details are largely hidden, but basically, HQ only allows the cream of the crop to take the test. Blades who go above and beyond in their duties, and for the people of New LA in general.
So what do you say? If you become a Blade and work hard, I'm sure it'll only be a matter of time before they tap you on the shoulder.
Speaking of work, that reminds me. Why don't we check out the Mission Control Board first? That's where we take on our assignments.
Good call. Let's head on over. So this is Mission Control. We don't have a dispatch system yet, so Blades usually choose their own assignments. Everyone comes here and selects from the missions available on the board.
And it's not just official Blade tasks. Anyone with a request is free to post here. Businesses, citizens, whoever.
Yeah, it's basically how anything gets done in New LA, so the board is constantly updating. Just about every Blade will stop by here at some point in their shift.
It's like our second home. You'll always find a number of Blades around here, blowing off steam or browsing mission control for their next assignment.
Whenever I get freed up, I'll stop here first thing to check for any missions I might be suited for.
Likewise. And if the assignment seems too tough to handle solo, that's what the Scout Console is for. We should show you that next.
Hey, who's giving this tour anyway? We also have the Scout Console, if the assignment seems too tough to handle solo. And Elma just said that, didn't she?
Hey!
Ta-da! The Blade Scout Console. When the going gets tough, the tough go to the scout console. You know, to get tougher.
If you do end up joining us, you'll quickly realize just how important this little kiosk is. A lot of the mission control assignments are too much for any one blade to handle. They tend to call for multiple members with specialized knowledge or unique skills. This console lets you search for and recruit other blades to fill those roles for just such an occasion.
You can't spell blade without team. Sorta. Anyway, awesome, right? So, you're ready to join up?
Hang on, Lynn. Take it easy, would you?
What? I'm just saying you'd have to be some kind of an idiot not to want to join Blade. Or maybe a crazy person.
Oh, and here I thought you might be pressuring our guest.
Apology accepted. Now, how about a little shopping? And I'm not talking about the stuff over in the commercial district. I'm talking about Armory Alley.
Listen. Hey.
So this street's what we call Armory Alley.
Blades can requisition equipment from any of the vendors here.
I won't lie, most Blade members face danger on a daily basis. Having the latest gear isn't about impressing your friends. It's a matter of survival.
True enough. And that goes not only for your personal armor and weapons, what we call ground gear, but for skell equipment as well.
You can even buy whole skells. Can you imagine owning your own skell? Huh? Oh, right, the tour. I think all that's left is the heart of Blade itself. Blade Tower.
Hey! Well...
Yes.
Really?
So yeah, Blade Tower. When we come here, it's usually to stop by Blade HQ. The higher-ups, like Secretary Nagi and Commander Vandam, will spend most of their day here. The government leaders, too. They're based in the tower. Guys like our new Director General Maurice Chassan, for example.
Blades sometimes report to the leadership here after we finish key assignments. You'll want to remember this place.
And that about does it for our tour. So, what do you think? Pretty amazing setup, right? You can't wait to join Blade, right?
Okay, Lynn, seriously, that's enough. We're not here to make a sales pitch. We just want you to have all the facts so you can make an informed decision to join us, or not. Now that you've seen where and how we work, hopefully it made a good impression, but your decision will be just that, your decision. In any case, let's head back to the barracks. Secretary Nagi will be waiting.
Hey!
Yeah?
One, two, three, four.
Honey, we're home.
Yes, very amusing.
Who wants a fresh cup of tea?
Thank you, Ms. Gu, but I can't stay long. I just wanted to pass along a request from your commanding officer.
Commander Vandam? Does it have anything to do with our new arrival?
Correct. He stopped by while you were out on your tour. He said he'll come back, but that I shouldn't wait to ask you.
Here we go. I bet I can guess.
You probably can. He wants to fast-track our new friend here for blade duty with a training assignment. What in the hell are we waiting for? As he put it.
The commander does have a way with words.
Makes even my pitch sound smooth.
I explained about the memory issues, but he didn't see it as a problem. And to be honest, given our current need for blade recruits, I can't say I entirely disagree.
Hey, it's not me you need to convince. Blade service is voluntary, remember?
Of course, and I would never force or coerce anyone. Well, friend, what do you say? Can we count on you to do your part? I knew you'd make the right choice. Welcome to the organization. Elma, he can start on your team. You'll begin training immediately.
Yes, Mr. Secretary. With pleasure.
All right. Welcome to the Cool Kids Club.
Now then, let's discuss that training assignment. We've decided to start you out on a probe installation, just to get your feet wet.
I guess we should back up a bit. Here in New LA, we're using a specialized computer system called Frontier Nav to help us deploy a sensor grid across Mira. A network of data probes that allows us to monitor conditions and collect all kinds of information about the planet.
Expanding that grid and filling in the blind spots is one of Blade's highest priorities. Here, take a look at this. What you're seeing on screen is a terrain map that includes New LA and the surrounding landmass. As you can see, we've divided the area into a series of hexagonal blocks. We call these blocks segments. Together, they form our grid. We determined this was the most efficient pattern, given the limited range of our probes. Based on it, we know exactly where we need the probes to go. Now we just have to install.
The sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned. The Frontier Nav probes can also detect the general locations of living things in the vicinity, which comes in handy if we need to track down a blade or another citizen.
Yes, quite handy indeed. So for this first exercise, you'll be heading here, to that white segment. Go there, install the data probe, and then come back home.
Got it. East of the city.
In that case, we can take the East Gate out of the administrative district, right? We should be there in no time.
I'll leave the details on the data probe installation procedure to you, Emma.
Of course, Mr. Secretary. All right, you two, shall we?
Yeah! Training or not, let's go install the hell out of that probe! Man, am I glad we pulled an assignment to the east of the city this time. It'd be a long walk all the way back over to the West Gate.
Hold on. Are we even sure the East Gate will be open? Last I heard, it was still on lockdown from all the high-level indigent activity.
It was, but they just lowered the threat level earlier today. The gates are officially open for business. One of our teams must have gone out there and kicked some furry indigent butt, huh?
Wouldn't surprise me at all. Irina's team is one of our best.
How does he know Irina and Gwyn?
We ran into them just before we met up with you. They were on their way out to an assignment.
Well, then that settles it. It must have been them, right? Man, forget this amateur hour probe baloney. Those guys are where the action's at.
I'll try not to take that personally. But enough talk. We've got our mission to deal with. Let's head out.
Roger. That probe isn't gonna install itself. Let's get to the East Gate, shall we?
Hey. Yes?
One, two, three, four.
Open fire! Follow me!
Target set! Shadow strike! Side slash!
Flame grenade!
It's down! We can lay it!
Upward hand!
Hope I didn't get in the way.
Assault hammer! Start big!
Shadow
Move in
strike!
and land a hit!
Lay into him.
Sliding slinger!
Fire carnival!
Nice! Move in and do some damage! Side slash!
Send them pack! Take it in
Now
close!
it's my turn!
Assault hammer!
Fire carnival!
Sliding slinger!
Switch edge!
Side slash!
Now! Topple him with some gunfire!
Early burn!
Well met!
Slide! Nice! Move in and do some damage!
Easy peasy. Let's get this started.
Let's see what you've got. Engaging! Lay down some fire for me!
Well down!
This one's got your name on it.
Fire carnival! Move in and do some damage!
Block this!
Well met!
Early burn! That move in and keep things going! Strength
Hope
comes
I
from
didn't get in the way.
experience. That's true on any planet.
Let's get this started.
Punch first.
Let's see what you've
Ask
got.
questions later. Fire carnival!
Sliding slinger!
Flame
Shadow
grenade!
strike!
Well met!
Sky slash!
Weaken him and lay it! Hey,
Force!
lay off!
Armor!
Tough. Touch me up! I'm in trouble! Heal me!
Infuriate!
Upward hand! I should heal up
Got
first.
time to die.
Sliding slinger!
Don't
Hey,
push
Force,
me.
lay off! Scream edge! We're up against a big target. Buff up now! Shadow strike! Side slash! Now, melee attacks! let's move.
Level up! I think even my cooking got better.
Send them packing. Take it in close. Flame grenade! Assault hammer! Topple them! Fire away!
Target in sight! Now, melee attack!
Easy peasy.
We got it. Let's move.
What? They've seen us. Punch first. Ask questions later.
Flame grenade!
Fire carnival! Shadow strike!
Quick edge!
Slide intended to destroy.
Assault
Minute
hammer!
strike. Side slash.
Chrome armor! Infuriate!
Use an aura. Get control of the battle.
No time for downtime. Aura activated. Your turn.
Slide. Splinter.
Quick edge!
Dinner is served.
Nice work.
What the hell happened here? You don't think that one Sinicula could have killed all these simius?
Unless...
Unless... what?
this is bad.
What's bad? I don't follow you.
That Sinicula. It's a tyrant.
Huh? But it looks just like any other Sinicula.
Think about it. Your typical simius is way higher up on the food chain than your typical Sinicula, right? Usually we'd find one simius standing over 3 or 4 Sinicula corpses. But here, the tables have been turned. And I don't see a single trace of any other indigents in the area. There's only one explanation. That Sinicula is a tyrant.
Let me check the Blade Report database. If there's a tyrant this close to the city, someone must have run across it. Bingo. There was a Sinicula tyrant sighted not too long ago, but it was a couple of segments further out.
It could have followed the blade that spotted it back towards New LA, or come here to feed, or who knows what.
That's crazy. I can't believe there's a tyrant right on our doorstep and HQ isn't doing a thing about it.
Well, don't forget why they sent us here in the first place. Frontier Nav's range is still limited.
Oh, right. They couldn't track it if there's no local probe. They must have lost it when it went off the grid. Tyrant designation is given to creatures that pose a special threat in one way or another. That doesn't always mean raw strength. Some Tyrants will actually register as low rank when we find them out in the field and engage them in combat.
But don't let that fool you. If a creature shows up as a tyrant, you can be sure it's got at least one nasty trait or ability to speak of. The system can't account for everything, though, so don't let your guard down, no matter what rank it assigns. Even some of Blade's very best teams have come back with serious injuries after running into a tyrant in the field. If they come back at all.
Well, all right. I'm game if you are. Count me in, Elma. Let's do this. If we're gonna settle here on this planet, we're gonna have to get used to dealing with tyrants now and then. We can't just keep running forever, you know? Besides, I'd never forgive myself if someone else ended up getting hurt because we just left it here.
All right. Let's do it. But don't push it, okay? Either of you. If we can take it down, great, but if not, even just luring it away would be a moral victory. As long as we buy enough time to install the probe, we can use Frontier Nav to track it, or any other tyrant that comes this close to the city from now on. Just make sure you're ready before we attack. This will be tougher than anything else we've faced.
this even remotely fair?
Open fire! Follow me!
Fire, fire!
strike!
Appreciate it. Recuperate. Flame grenade.
Upper hand! Sliding slinger! Side slash! Off balance! Now, melee attacks! I owe you one.
Infuriate.
Early bird!
Fire carnival!
Move in and
Flame
keep the rhythm
grenade.
going!
Trash chuck!
Sliding slinger!
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Lay it!
Shadow strike!
Armor.
Side slash! Upper hand! Shadow! Sliding slinger!
Flame grenade.
Leave this to me!
Side slash!
Armor.
Shadow strike!
Wild
Upper
hand!
hand!
Attack! Close in! Flame blow!
Appreciate
Now
it.
it's my turn!
We are awesome!
Nice work, Lynn. You fought well. You did too. Now let's get down to business and install that data probe. If we stay here for long, there's no telling what other playmates might show up. This beam of light indicates a frontier nav site. It marks the ideal spot to bury the probe.
Okay, the probe should be ready for insertion. I'll just boot it up.
Thanks, Lynn. The top half of the cylinder contains the probe itself. The bottom half is a laser. It dissolves the soil so the probe can burrow to the proper depth. We tried just planting them on the surface at first, but we kept running into problems with the local wildlife damaging the goods. Burying them is going to save us all a lot of time and headaches in the long run. We all set?
Yes, ma'am. Whenever you're ready.
Why don't you do the honors? You can launch it right from your comm device. Give it a try. Good. Now we just need to give it a minute to reach the target depth.
And installation complete. We are now online with a solid connection to Frontier Nav.
Excellent. See? At the end of the day, there's really not much to it. The hardest part was calculating the ideal probe locations. We need them spread out evenly to maximize data collection.
Yep, planting probes is easy. And the more we plant, the more likely we are to find missing crew. So anytime you see a probe site, there's no excuse not to plant that sucker.
That'll do it for your training. Let's head back to the barracks and report to Secretary Nagi. didn't have to be like this.
Open fire! Follow me!
I bet you're covered by
Shadow strike! Sliding!
Flame grenade!
Topple them! Close in! Trash chuck!
Side slash! Sliding slinger! Shadow strike!
Assault hammer! Topple them! Fire away!
Side slash! Upper hand! Shadow fireball! Sliding slinger!
Dinner is served.
We got it. Let's move.
Open fire! Follow me!
Target in sight!
Flame grenade!
Hey,
Spores!
lay off!
Shadow
Infuriate!
Fire
Recuperate!
I toppled them! Close in!
Lock this!
Side fireball!
Split aim! Look at that! Follow up with melee
My
attack!
turn!
Trash chuck!
Upper hand!
Flame
Slide
grenade!
ice. Move in and do some damage. What? Pendants destroyed. Move in and strike.
Room armor!
I owe you one. I'm sorry.
Whoa!
So you like knocking people around?
Trash chuck!
Always all around, so stay quick with the guns and cannons. Standing as long as you can until we get all dolls up. Then
Fire
call off
carnival!
next song. It's all killing with lives. Best stop.
Still in this. Let's get in their face.
Let's lay into it!
Give them hell.
Wanna see it dark matter, every minute matters. Live a while, live a life, shatter. See it don't scatter. As they pour out, we can handle them. It's a tar taking over the game, unexpected. Hard to accept it, getting marked with death. See it red, snatched and dark, possessed with the dark inside.
Level up! I think even my cooking got better.
company!
I'm off balance. I can't seem to get fired up.
Hey! Look at that! Follow up with melee attack!
Sliding slinger!
On my own? Alright then.
Now we're stuck on a whole different planet. No peace looking at the sky. Trouble's always all around, so we stay quick with the guns and cannons. Standing as long as you can until we get all dolls up. Then call our bets off, so don't be talk. Dealing with lives messed up.
Give them hell. Let's get this started.
Engaging! Right on
Flame
the fire!
grenade!
Shadow strike!
Assault hammer!
Side splendid destroyed! Move in and strike!
Block this! Look at that! Follow up with melee attacks.
Upward hand! Sliding
Easy
slinger!
peasy.
Strength
Hope I
comes
didn't
from
get in the way.
experience. That's true on any planet.
Let's get this started.
Let's see what you've got.
Punch first. Ask questions later.
Use an aura! Get control of the battle!
Armor!
I owe you one. Shadow strike!
Hey, Lord, stop! Fire carnival!
Side flash! They're tough.
Whoa!
Touch me up! Sliding slinger!
Trap chuck! Wild snake! Almost down. But not
Primer! I owe you one.
Flame grenade!
Shadow strike!
wild dance!
Sliding pendant destroyed! Move in and strike!
Different planet. No peace looking at the sky.
Side
Trouble's always all
slash.
around, so we stay quick with
Block this!
standing as long as you can until we get all dolls up. Then call our bets off, so don't be talk. Dealing with lives
Upward
messed
hand.
up.
Look at that! Follow
Now,
up with
monster.
melee attack.
Fire carnival!
They're tough. Catch me up!
Hang on! This'll help.
I owe you one.
Wanna see a dark matter?
Shadow strike!
In the wild, on the line, shatter. See it don't scatter. As they pour out, we can handle them.
Sliding pendant destroyed! Move in and strike! Nice work.
Commander Vandam.
Well now, look what the cat dragged in.
Sorry we missed you last time. We could have come to meet you at HQ, you know.
Indeed. I suggested as much. Twice.
And we know how much I enjoy being told what to do. Anyway, I hear you tangled with a tyrant, way out of your league, on a training mission, no less. That was reckless, and goddamn magnificent.
So, Commander, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit here today?
Well, I can't just ask Nagi to do everything for me. I'd be out of a job.
Hey, I delivered you the new recruit, didn't I?
Yeah, you won the bet. Don't worry about it, all right? I'll settle up with you later. You know I'm good for it.
The bet?
I'm sure I'm needed elsewhere. If you'll all excuse me, Commander.
Well, that wasn't obvious at all.
Huh. Look at you two. I swear, you're like two children excited about a new toy.
Look who's talking. I don't recall ever seeing you file a request to personally train a rescue before.
Is that so odd?
It is before we'd even asked him to become a blade, little Miss Stick in the Rear.
Usually I ask when I don't get your slang expressions, but something tells me to just let that one go.
Enough about that. Where are your manners, anyway? I still haven't been introduced to our new recruit here.
Commander Vandam is Blade's top officer.
In a past life, I was chief engineer on the White Whale. Same idea, basically. Someone has a problem, I fix it. You follow? Huh. Not much for conversation, are you?
So you still haven't told us why you're here. From the look of things, I'm guessing this isn't a social call.
You don't think?
No. So let's cut the crap and get down to business.
Ha! Sounds like you're learning my expressions just fine, Elma. Anyway, first we need Chatty Cathy here to choose a division and pull an assignment. Whoa there, Itchy Trigger. I know you're just chafing at the bit to run out there and grab the world by its tail, but you need to choose a division first. Once that's all hashed out, we can get into detail about what your first assignment's gonna be.
Pretty much everyone in New LA works for Blade, in one of several different fields. Helping to explore Mira, or to maintain order in the city, or, well, you remember Nagi's speech, right? There are 8 different fields in all, and each one has its own branch within Blade. Officially, they're called divisions. Naturally, you'll want to choose one that best suits your personality and your talents.
Let's start with the Pathfinders. Pathfinder's #1 responsibility is planting data probes, like you did on your training mission. It may not be the sexiest job, but important? You bet your ass it's important. We've only been on Mira 2 months. We don't know jack about this place. The more probes we install, the faster we can get our bearings here and give ourselves a fighting chance.
We've already detailed how important it is we expand the Frontier Nav network ASAP. So, for the time being, I'll just remind you of the highlights. It helps us keep Blade safe. It helps us keep the city safe. And most important of all, it's the key to locating the missing parts of the Lifehold and recovering the rest of the human race.
Okay, next up, Interceptors. You met Akalov and Evans, right? Irina and Gwen? This is their division. Interceptors have one main duty: Protect New LA and everyone in it from the wildlife here on Mira. Right now, this is probably our busiest division. Interceptors ride shotgun for the research eggheads. They escort VIPs around, and they help any other idiots who get caught out there with their pants down.
Next are the Harriers. Remember Doug Barrett, the Skell pilot conducting the test flight with Lynn? He's part of the Harriers. If you think of the Interceptors as defense, Harriers would be New LA's offense. They specialize in preemptive strikes on clear and obvious threats. But only on clear and obvious threats. They're not meant to go out and just blast any indigene that moves.
And you got your Reclaimers. These guys are in charge of finding the other pieces of the White Whale. Among other things, that is. Including anything of ours left behind after a battle. Skell debris, weapons, personal effects. It can get a bit morbid, frankly, but it's gotta be done. Until we're up and running here on Mira, and have this place completely figured out. Everything we brought from Earth needs to be treated like it's irreplaceable. Also, the search for the Lifehold. That's mostly on the Reclaimers.
Next, Curators. Curators are the first to scout ahead to unexplored territory, bringing back whatever samples they can get their hands on. Fruits, bugs, sticks and stones, you name it. It's not all picking berries, though. Being a curator also means being the first to encounter unknown indigens.
Next? All right, prospectors. Prospectors do, well, prospecting. They poke around, looking for minerals, resources, and whatnot. Things we need for everyday life here. We packed all the essentials we could on the White Whale, but that won't last forever. We need to be able to replenish our water and fuel if we want to survive. And sooner or later, we're gonna have to figure out how to replace things from scratch. From the socket on a Skell's knee joint, right down to the frying pan in Lynn's kitchen. Without these guys busting their butts, we'd have no future to speak of.
Next up, Outfitters. All of our ground gear and Skell weaponry is developed in conjunction with private arms manufacturers, or AMs. Outfitters are Blade's way of supporting these AMs. They'll seek out anything that might inspire new weapon ideas, and even assist with testing new prototypes.
Finally, the Mediators. These are the folks who keep everything hunky-dory with John and Joan Q public. Any problems a civvy has, they come to Mediators. Fight with your neighbor? Mediators. Lost cat? Mediators. It's not a division for everyone. You need to be a jack of all trades, and a people person. Someone with my charming personality? Probably not the best mediator. But if you got what it takes, it's a clutch role, keeping things cool on the home front.
All right, so I think that's all 8 divisions. Any idea which one you'd like to join? Don't fret about it too much. Whichever you choose, you still have a lot of freedom in how you operate. Mediators can still get out there and mix it up, hunt indigens, whatever. And if a Harrier wants to take a break and settle an argument, that's their prerogative too. To be honest, even though it's sort of frowned upon, you can actually change your division whenever you like. So there's really no reason to stress about this. All right, you ready to choose?
Yeah, and? We're on pins and needles here.
Then it's settled? Then it's settled?
All right. Thank God that's over. By the power invested in me, yada yada, you're officially a Blade.
Congrats, and welcome.
I know you're gonna do great.
Now for the job. Let's get down to brass tacks. Nelson's team has gone missing. Last contact we had, they were installing a data probe out in eastern Primordia. Then, nothing.
Nelson. Pathfinders, right?
Are we talking indigents here or what?
Your guess is as good as mine, but they did have a skell with them. You'd think they could hold their own, or at least run away.
Alright, we're on it. We'll head to their last known location and go from there.
Report whatever you find ASAP.
Of course. Let's move out.
Roger that.
Thanks.
1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four.
Am I right?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Working hard? I can tell you. Working hard? Sorry, I don't know.
Well. Whatever.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Am I right?
Hey! Oh, listen.
Hey. Yes?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Let's get this started.
Engaging.
loaded.
Flame
Lay down
grenade!
some fire for me. Shadow strike. This force.
Fire Carnival!
Light. Flinger.
Assault hammer! Topple them! Fire away!
Wow!
Switch edge!
Sky Knight. Move in and do some damage.
Recuperate! Infuriate! Flame grenade!
Upward hand. Shadow strike. Pendants destroyed. Move in and strike.
Lock this!
Look
at that! Follow up with melee attacks!
Looking at the sky, troubles always all around, so stay quick with the guns and cannons. Standing as long as you can until you
Primer.
get all dolls up, then call off the
Nice. Move in and do some damage.
It's messed up.
Hope I didn't get in the way.
Send them packing. Take it in close. Flame grenade!
Appreciate it. Sliding slinger! Side slash! Come off balance. Upper hand. Reinforcements. Watch out. Early bird.
Sorry. I can't seem to get fired up.
Sliding
Got company!
slinger. Now, melee attacks.
Assault hammer! Topple them! Fire away!
I've got your cup of fire.
Flame grenade!
This is wearing me down.
Guys, take it.
I'm not gonna make it. Side
My
slash.
own? All right then.
I'm sorry.
Get a load of this.
Locked and loaded. Flame flow.
I
Appreciate
owe
it.
you one.
Fire carnival.
Assault hammer!
Slide.
Flame
Move in and do
grenade!
some damage.
Block this! Look at that! Follow up with melee attack.
Dinner is served.
Hope I didn't get in the way.
Get a load of this.
Locked and loaded.
Sliding.
Fire
Assault
carnival.
hammer!
Move in and keep them
Flame
going.
grenade! Slick edge! Look at that! Follow up with melee attack.
Side slash.
Easy peasy.
Nice work.
Open fire! Follow me!
Target in sight.
Hit him again for me.
Shadow strike.
Infuriate!
Move in and keep them going.
Leave it to me! Ugh. Now, topple them with some gunfire.
Early bird.
Flame grenade!
Fly nice. Move in and do some damage.
Block this!
Move in and keep the rhythm going. Shadow strike.
Wild Stab.
Upper hand.
Hit him again for me.
Get a load of this.
Let's see what you've got.
I'm doing good. Your turn to land a hit.
Now it's my turn.
Fire Carnival!
Slide that.
Assault hammer!
Move in and keep the rhythm going.
Flame grenade!
Side slash.
Split gauge!
Upper hand. Appendage destroyed. Move in and strike.
Armor!
Early burn. Move in and keep the rhythm going.
Dinner is served.
Nice work.
Open fire! Follow me!
Target in sight. Shadow strike.
Assault hammer! Flame grenade!
Carnival!
Side slash.
Split gauge!
Use an aura. Get control of the battle.
Infuriate!
Sliding slinger. That's intense. Move in and keep the rhythm going. Shadow strike.
I'm doing good!
Upper hand.
Your turn to land a hit.
Side slash.
Dinner is served.
Hope I didn't get in the way.
Open fire! Follow me!
I've got
Shadow strike.
Assault hammer!
Sliding
Flame grenade!
Lay down some cover fire! Thermal payload!
Side slash.
Split gauge! Ha, look at that! Follow up with melee attack!
My turn. They're tough. Touch me up.
Sorry, me first!
Upper hand.
Sliding slinger!
Split gauge!
Shadow strike. Side
Flame
slash.
grenade!
Easy peasy.
Level up! I think even my cooking got better.
Stay on your toes.
Punch first. Ask questions later.
Now it's my turn.
Fire Carnival!
Flame grenade!
Sliding slinger. Side slash.
Chrome armor!
Thanks a bunch.
Early bird. That could have dented him. Move in and keep the rhythm going.
What you lay into?
Slide nice. Move in and do some damage.
Crack chuck.
Upper hand.
Iron prick.
Side slash. I'm in trouble. Heal me.
Here! Get in there and go nuts!
Appreciate it.
Fire Carnival!
Infuriate!
Use an aura. Get control of the battle.
Assault
Upper
hammer!
hand. Shadow strike.
Flame grenade! tough.
I should
Heal
go
me
up
up.
first.
Assault hammer!
Harder!
Sky engines destroyed. Move in and strike.
Watch me lay it!
Lightning! Now, melee attacks.
I'm not gonna make it.
Infuriate!
Help me! Move in and keep the rhythm going.
All right then. Room armor! Assault hammer! Flame grenade! Room armor! Really nasty.
They said we seem to find the deal so we can sharpen skills, but now we can only feel all the pain of the danger, be real, and we may have to kill just to stay alive, cause they've taken away close mates, and we don't know our own fate. We've been tasked to protect and take on those, but now this black time is moving the damage. It's really usually past, but it covers everything. This wasn't in the profile, so now we have to find a way to win before we die out. Living life on the run with a hand on the gun. Where's the exit? We can't go back where we came from. We can't go back where we came from.
Open fire! Follow me!
I've got lightning fire!
Slinger! Shadow strike!
Wow!
Side slash!
Assault hammer!
Appendage destroyed. Move in and strike.
Flame grenade!
Upper hand.
Flame flow!
I
Appreciate
owe
it.
one. Shadow runner. Sliding ice. Move in and do some damage.
Watch me lay into it! Trap shot!
Side slash appendage destroyed. Move in and strike.
Fire carnival!
Upper hand.
That man, let's stop the
Now, melee attacks.
looking at the sky, trouble's always all around. So we stay quick, guns and cannons. Standing as long as we can until we get all dolls up. Then call our bets off.
Shadow strike.
Dealing with vibes, messed up.
Hit him again for me!
Side slash.
Assault hammer!
Scream edge.
Leave it to me!
Dinner is served.
We got him. Let's move.
Let's get this started.
Locked and loaded.
They're off guard. Stagger them with a melee attack. Shadow strike.
Appreciate it.
Now, melee attacks. Sliding slinger.
Room armor!
Side slash.
Trap shot! Fire carnival!
Upper hand. Early bird. That's intense. Move in and keep the rhythm going. Side slash.
Assault hammer!
Slinger.
Topple them! Fire away!
Strength comes from experience. That's true on anything.
Where'd they all come from?
Room armor!
Thanks a lot.
One more hit.
Don't want it.
Give them hell.